Hey guys, how's it going? This is Rob. Welcome to my channel. I just wanted to talk to you about a new listing that I got and also how I got it and some of the kind of nuances behind it, because I am an investor. I look at it as an investment first. This property came to me, and I'll talk about the lead and how I got this lead, and then now it's turned into a listing that I can use my real estate license for. So I just wanted to go over the process with you and see if you can get some value out of this. Let me see if I can switch this to see my sign here. So I just now listed this property. It's a nice house over here in the west side in a nice subdivision. And let me just talk to you a little about what happened here, and maybe this will benefit you as well. I got this lead, gosh, back in the November, maybe even October time frame. It was from a texting type of exercise that I had, and I sent an SMS blast to various folks that are in a code enforcement type of situation, meaning the city cited them for something in the property, whether it's overgrown grass or maybe they didn't comply with something, and they made it to some kind of code enforcement list. So I got that list, and I can talk about that list in a future video. But I got that list, and I texted the list, and they responded. They kind of gave me a positive feedback that says that they were interested in hearing what I had to say. So long story short, I contacted them, and they set an appointment with me, and I went ahead and met with them and understood what their debt was with the property, because this was a property where they owed still a significant amount of money. It's probably worth about 170. So if my memory serves me right, they owe about, I'd say, maybe 120, 130 with 2 mortgages. So I met with them. I went over the cost to sell with them step by step to kind of go over what they would net out of the property. And that's something I can talk about in another video, of what a cost to sell looks like when talking to a seller. And so I wanted to come with the approach of trying to buy this property as a subject to existing financing, meaning I can take over their debt and then see what we can work out in terms of paying them whatever equity there is in the property, or have as much of an equity left in there for a profit later on as I sell it. So those are some other exit strategies. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but basically I came with the approach of trying to buy this in a certain way as an investor. Well, we built a rapport, and that was another something else that you guys will learn, is that it's important that you talk to the seller, build rapport, because if anything, they can always, you can always capture their heart or work with them in the future. It's good for follow-ups. You don't, even if they say no now, it may mean a yes later. And so that's exactly what happened with this property, is that even though after that initial meeting, they didn't commit right away. In fact, I followed up. They had a death in the family, this and that. They never said no to me. So I kept following up with them. And because I kept following up, that kind of made me stand out, right? So that's something important to remember, is that you should always follow up nonstop, because the fortune is definitely in the follow-up. Well, so I met with them again after the new year. I mean, again, this started out in the October, November timeframe. Remember I told you? And I kept, the lighting is better over here. So I kept in touch, and we finally met. The other option that I had, if it wasn't going to be me buying the property, it would be me listing as a property. So again, because we built up that rapport in the beginning, they were actually open to having me listed for them. And I kind of, planted some seeds saying, look guys, I'm not just a regular agent. I happen to be an investor, and I know the ins and outs of the industry. I have contacts in the business. I also helped them with some ideas if they were to sell it on their own, things like that. So I guess gravitated towards me, and even when I came back to the property and met with them a second time about listing it, I saw on their counter they had other investors that came by and looked at the house. For example, they had a home investor folder here and other business cards and all that. And I saw the home investors folder, and I said, "Hey, I know some of those guys over there. They're buddies of mine." And they said, "Why?" I try to do a little takeaway. I said, "Gosh, why not just go with them?" And he basically told me point blank, "Oh, I just didn't feel it. I didn't get that vibe. I didn't get the feeling." So another point is, hey, in every meeting that you have, gosh, build that rapport, build that connection, add value. Show them that whether or not they say yes to you, whether or not you're here to sign anything with them, make some friend, make a connection, establish some kind of emotional connection with them, because that's what they're going to remember you for. Not for your looks, not for the way you talk. They're gonna get away from the meeting with how they felt about you from that meeting. That's what they're gonna remember you about, is the feeling that you gave them during your meeting. So keep that in mind when you're meeting sellers, that how would you like them to feel after that contact? And I didn't go in with the approach that, hey, if we don't sign, then you're a loser, or I'm a loser and I'm out of here. That's not the attitude. That first meeting, I actually shared with them some tips that they were really grateful to me about, because it wasn't related specifically with the sale of the property. It wasn't involving them with paying down their mortgage of their primary home faster. I gave them some tips on how they can do that, and she was impressed that I was able to freely share that information with her, knowing that the conversation was already over. They already said they're not going to decide on it, but I still met with them, spoke with them, gave them some tips that they were really grateful for. And you know what? Because of those tips, because of the fact that I wasn't so selfish with my information, that I'm actually had the heart to help them. I think they felt that. They can see that in me, and therefore they kind of emotionally decided that if they were going to use someone, they might very well just use me, even if worst case it's to list the property. And here I am. So I'm here. I got the listing in that second meeting. I took off my real estate hat as an investor, and I put on my realtor hat. And that's when I said, "Okay, guys, now let's see what we can do to get this house sold in the fastest manner possible." And that's when I wasn't going to lowball them or anything. I'm just going to kind of put on my realtor hat, like I said. Hey, let's list it for this top dollar. This is what we can do. Let's put it this price so that we have room to negotiate. And I think they appreciated that. As I walked around the house, I told them, "Hey, here's a product that can help you in cleaning up a lot of your stuff, like the mold." And they were like, "Really? I didn't know that you can buy that product called Wet and Forget, and that can save you a lot of time with the mold, that mildew." And guess what, guys? I came in here and I noticed that they kind of listened to what I said, although it wasn't really the same item. I told them Wet and Forget, but they got this thing for, I guess, the spray kind. But they took what I recommended, which is this Wet and Forget type product, which they have at any of those stores, and they actually came in and tried to clean up the house a little bit more. So I got the listing, filled out all the information. I came prepared. I was ready with two contracts in the second meeting. One was the real estate investment contract as a subject to deal, if I were to take over the payments and then pay them for their equity as a promissory note. I was ready for that, and then I was also ready with the listing agreement. So it didn't go in the direction of the buy, where I'm the buying, and it went instead to where I ended up listing the property. So I was ready with 2 sets of paperwork. And that's something to keep in mind, is when you're going to a property where you're also an investor and a realtor, is always have 2 sets of paperwork, so that any direction that they decide to go, you are prepared, because it's all about having the right tools. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this up here. And anyway, I just wanted to share this quick video with you, help you see that getting a license is worthwhile, I feel. If anything, it will give you added ammunition when you sell your property, because you can always list the property, and you know, by the time I pay the broker his share, and I also get a small commission out of this, hey, that's fine. I'm able to help the seller. And you know, here's something that I also mentioned to the seller, and I recommend this tip as well, is I said, look, if you get offers from other investors, would it be okay if I have the first right of refusal, or I mean, I'm going to present every offer to them, right? But I mentioned that, hey, is it okay that I also let you know what offer that I provide you as well? And then, you know, they'll accept, you know, the offer that first comes. I'll present all the offers, and I'll also present my own, and they're welcome to pick any offer that they like. So that's on them. And you know, as an investor, you're welcome to also put your offer on the line, and you know, that's something to keep in mind as well. So anyway, I hope that this video was helpful to you, and that you gained a couple of tips from this. I will I'll create another video perhaps about the numbers on this deal and what I did as an analysis on it, so that you can you know, understand what are some of the thoughts that I had when I made my first offer as an investor. Well, anyway, if you liked the video, I ask that you just simply put the like button or the subscribe button, so that I can produce more videos for you. Put a comment below on what are some questions that you had about the property. Put on you know, some comments on what you liked or didn't like, so that you know, I can customize and tweak things in future videos. Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.